Don't give a shit about men's mental health.
At this point, we all know that Drake filed a petition. He is very...
They're scanning part of the lake, and they literally
Delta flight just flipped upside down.
What happened to the idea of if you grew up with any hardship that you're actually extremely powerful? You have a superpower. There's so much resilience in that. And instead we're like, look, we're going to normies and we're going like, well, I have trauma and you have to witness that. They don't know. Like, they don't know like how powerful you are. Like, you are not relatable to them. A regular person that's like very pro system and just like, you just gotta work harder. You just gotta go to college and get a bunch of debt. You just gotta, like, I look at those people and I'm like, oh, you're lost in the sauce.
Maybe they are lost in the sauce, or maybe the systems are actually propelling them forward in some weird scenario. But we know the true goons. Hey, the systems are against us. Welcome back, goons. You're watching Explore the Weird. Hey, are you gone through any hardships that you feel more resilient and better than others? Or are you of the mindset that we're all the same and one united consciousness, just going through all the things and everyone's trauma is just shared amongst all of us? Hey, we're gonna get it better. Got some more creepy, weird, strange for you page content. Let's get right into it.
My question is, if all the Pixar movies are connected, what happened to The Incredibles? The Incredibles takes place in the 1950s and the 1960s, but where are they in the 2000s for like Toy Story, Ratatouille, Up? Because really, one can assume all the supers are gone, and I mean gone. And what if that little boy in Finding Nemo isn't reading just a comic book of The Incredibles, but in fact he's reading a tribute to The Incredibles because they all passed? And further proof that all the Incredibles have passed, Finding Nemo canonically takes place in like 2003, 2004, so about 10, 12 years later we have Coco on the Pixar timeline, and in Coco, in the underworld, we see a poster with The Incredibles on it. Could be just a movie poster. Or maybe it's a poster appreciating supers keeping the underworld safe. All this to say, The Incredibles 3 can either continue the Pixar timeline or it can absolutely obliterate it with a massive time jump. But in order for The Incredibles 3 to keep the Pixar theory alive, The Incredibles 3 is probably going to be an incredibly dark film. Of course, we can also choose to believe the alternative where The Incredibles is just a movie within the Pixar cinematic universe, kind of like Lightyear is. But then again, The Incredibles introduced zero-point energy, which also, in theory, is the reason why toys and other inanimate objects come to life in the Pixar universe.
Wait, they introduced zero-point energy? Here I am, thinking it's all around us all the time. Oh boy, the toys are real. They're gonna come to life. We just need to capture it. Oh, I think some people did. Oh boy, love The Incredibles. I didn't know there was gonna be an Incredibles 3. Big fan. Big fan of Incredibles. Let's see.
So if anyone's wondering, it's 2024 and people still don't give a shit about men's mental health. This clip of Pedro Pascal has been floating around the internet from Comic-Con where he's obviously having like some sort of panic attack. To which it's obvious he signals to his co-star Vanessa Kirby that he would like some support. Here's the clip that's going around. It's pretty obvious to me a man that goes from looking like this to 5 seconds later looking like this is going through some sort of panic attack. But of course the internet's taking this opportunity to bash Pedro Pascal. For example, this tweet that's been going viral saying, "I'm sorry, this is BS, you're a full-grown man, not a toddler, control yourself." So the responses being this, anxiety. That's very strange. Is it a medical condition to touch someone to calm down? Very strange act. Sounds like someone hasn't been hugged enough in their life. And this one's just disgusting. You can read it for yourself. Pedro's been very open about his anxiety when it comes to large crowds. When you notice, he always puts his hand in the front of his torso in almost every single red carpet picture. They even asked him on the red carpet of the Last of Us premiere, and he responded with, "Because my anxiety is right there." It's a mechanism that helps him relax. Not the first time something like this has happened at Comic-Con. Chris Evans has been very vocal about his anxiety as well, to which ScarJo was shown stroking his back to calm him down during a panic attack during a Comic-Con event. Also, I don't know about you, but these two seem like they have an amazing relationship. I'm sure before the event, Pedro went to Vanessa and said, "Hey, I may need to ask for support if I have some sort of anxiety." This shit just pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with his mental state, but I guess this is a condition he suffers from, and this is what he needs to do. Would they have the same reaction if it was a guy that he did this with instead of the girl? I don't know.
When people talk about hexes, when people talk about certain things like that, I want to make this abundantly clear. If someone has no bad karma, you can't hex them, no matter who they are. Now, obviously, almost all of us are with sin. I'm not trying to quote the Bible. It is what it is. All of us have sin. Think of karma like a mountain, and think of a hex like a grappling hook. You need something to attach to. And if they didn't do anything to you, there's nothing to attach to now. If you attack someone who did nothing to you, then bad things come your way.
Nah, don't mess with the stuff. No curses, no hexes. Saw lifted. You stop it. You're a goon. There's none of this. We are very neutral, divergent beings that continue to go through our timelines. Let's see. I'm feeling like we're gonna break through all these curses and hexes. Just don't send any bad juju to others. Don't attack others for no reason. Hey, Teddy, they did me wrong. You stop it. They didn't do nothing to you.
Okay, unicorns are real. We're actually studying them in science, and I'm going to tell you how, and how we're in danger of using it the wrong way. Welcome to my neurodivergent deep dive that was literally inspired by the new movie Death of a Unicorn, which I cannot wait to see. Okay, let's get started. Like, you guys, this is almost too easy. Like, hidden in plain sight. This, I'm about to show you literal magic. You will not unsee this. Okay, so for centuries, the unicorn has been symbolized as purity, innocence, strength, and hope. It was symbolized as an untamable power that could be approached and harnessed if you were pure of heart. Okay, but here's what's so mind-blowing. It's not just a fairy tale. This is actually an anthropomorphism of plasma, the fourth state of matter. And anthropomorphism is basically just giving humanistic characteristics or a behavior to a god or an animal as a unicorn. So why does plasma symbolize a unicorn? And just like in mythology, how we choose to interact with plasma will actually determine whether it helps us or backfires on us. So what is plasma? It's the fourth state of matter. It's the most abundant state of matter in the universe. We never learn about it in school. It makes up the aurora borealis, neon signs, plasma balls, lightning, friggin' galaxies. It's all over. It is chaotic, free-flowing, impossible, nearly impossible to contain, untamed. It cannot be caught through force, just like they're doing right now in nuclear fusion and fission.
Man, this lady started this video off as like, hey, unicorns are real, this and that, and as normal, she went right into the plasma thing again. Hey, we get it, lady. You into plasma. You going to all the places and traveling everywhere because now you're an influencer with plasma tech, and great. Congratulations. But we really need to figure out if those unicorns are real, because the things can't just be plasma, right? That's just like saying everything's zero emissions. Zero emission, 0 point energy, you know? I'm like, you stop it. We know exactly what's going on here. The unicorns are real.
At this point, we all know that Drake filed a petition. He is very upset about the outcome of Not Like Us. Now, there were 2 petitions filed, one in New York and one right here by me. So what's better than having a Texas attorney break down Drake's Texas petition? For all those who want to look up the petition for themselves, there it is right behind me, the cause number, the court, everything you need. Let's get straight to the point. The bottom line is the entire issue is payola. Payola is when you bribe someone to use their influence or position of power to promote a particular thing. And yes, payola is illegal. And this law is not new. Way back, the Federal Communications Act of 1934 and the Federal Communications Commission required radio stations to disclose when they were being paid to play a song and paid by whom. Long story short, Drake is saying that certain radio stations and streaming platforms violated this law because they were paid by UMG but never disclosed this to the people. Now, UMG is a huge company that has many of our favorite artists on them, and they deal with releasing music, promoting music, stuff like that. Drake is accusing UMG of knowingly putting out defamatory music, you know, when K-Dot called him a pedo. And also accusing UMG of basically committing payola, stating that they were paying for bots to go and stream Not Like Us, bringing it to the top of the charts. He also alleges that UMG were trying to cover their tracks by firing people who were close to Drake. Now that we're all clear on what's going on here, what are the accusations, what is the crime?
The crime is the song is better than you think, Drake. It's not because they're getting paid to play it. It's because people want to listen to it because the song is actually good. You just need to come back, Drake. You need to somehow work with your team and be like, I'm going to drop another Hotline Bling 2 or something. I don't know, buddy, but it's looking sour for you. I don't know how you come out of this one. I'm sorry. This may be it, buddy. This may be it. Maybe this is the time to shift careers and become a wrestler. There you go.
Chicken wire is not for chickens. Chicken wire will keep chickens in if that's your only intent, but if your intent is to protect them from predators, you need something stronger. Chickens cannot break through chicken wire, but fox, coyote, raccoons, minks, basically all the major predators can break through chicken wire. So you need something stronger. We like to use hardware cloth. It's a 1/4 inch openings. It does a great job of protecting our girls. Secure it with washers and screws. We also have it skirted out at the bottom. It goes out about 1 to 2 feet. and we cover it with dirt or mulch to protect from predators digging underneath.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, I keep getting all this content. It'll be like, hey, we're going to need to know this for the Goonland. Obviously, we're going to have chickens. What? You're going to use the chicken wire? You stop it. You hear what this lady said? Got to use that hardware fabric or something. So, okay, good to know. Good to know. I guess this is the hardware cloth is the way to go when you're raising chickens. How many chickens will they let us raise? And do we need to have them caged? Like, can we just have them free roam in a larger cage? I'm sorry, I have many questions. Like, you know how they got like the lions and the tigers in those sanctuaries? We just have chicken sanctuary. It's part of the Goonland. Sorry. Hey, you made it to this point of the video? This is the point where you gotta do the things because we're looking for them goons that are still not knowing that they're goons because they don't know that there's videos out here that Teddy's making and they're just like watching the only reactors that they know. Hey, just like you found us, can you do us the thing and interact with this video and a future video and watch that video more than 50% of the way through in one sitting? Hey, that's the goon things to do. Supposedly, you do that and YouTube gonna give us all the benefits. Let's see, I'm still waiting for the benefits, YouTube. Where's the benefits? They're doing the interaction, so you stop it, YouTube. Damn it, YouTube. I'm sorry. This turned into something else. Please interact. We're gonna keep it going.
This came up in my mind last night. What if hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years ago, since the Earth has been around for so long, what if there used to be human civilizations just like this, but then some kind of crazy phenomenon went on? Either they destroyed themselves and obviously over a million years everything fades away, restarts and the nature takes over, or a meteor hit and wiped out everything. We've seen the movies destroying the entire Earth. I mean, that would restart the entire planet. What's the possibility that all this has already happened? Cars, inventions, everything, but then a meteor strikes, wipes it all out, and a couple 100,000 years later.
What if? I recently went to America and I had the actual privilege of speaking at the Cosmic Summit. And the Cosmic Summit is an annual conference all about ancient cosmic catastrophes. And we had a whole bunch of like experts and archaeologists. And it's very exciting because I'm assuming this guy doesn't even know that there was a comet impact in recent history. And by recent, I mean in the last like 12,000 years, not like the one that killed the dinosaurs. But there was, and it was called the Younger Dryas Comet Impact. And there is a whole bunch of science that backs this up. Mainly being that if you dig down deep enough, you reach this thing called the black mat layer, which is this layer of like literal burnt ash. Because everything was on fire after this comet impact. And there's like nanodiamonds in the soil and like the whole world pretty much went through hell. But interestingly, the very date that the Younger Dryas Comet impact is said to have like impacted our atmosphere, because they can date the soil, is the very date that Plato said Atlantis was destroyed. So very interesting. On the one side, you've got all this like heavy science coming out the gate saying that we actually did have experienced this sort of possibly global, at the moment it's definitely northern hemisphere and like a bit of Europe and even in South Africa, but possibly global catastrophic event that very well could have destroyed everything. Oh my god, I'm getting too excited. Anyway.
The whole cycle begins again. Like, what if we are not the first human cycle?
This diver found a giant helmet in the bottom of the Indian Ocean by Madagascar. Although we can clearly see this giant gladiator helmet, for some mysterious reason, this event is nowhere to be found online. There was a discovery in Madagascar of a megafauna, where 10-foot tall elephant birds and giant predators lived there over 1,000 years ago.
1,000?
So could this really be the helmet of a giant, or is it just fake?
Does he mean like 1 million? It doesn't think he means 1,000. The helmet's I can't tell whether it's like stone or whether it's, I can't tell. Interesting.
Creatures that are still alive. For many years, we thought frilled sharks had gone extinct. But in 2007, frilled sharks were discovered off the coasts of Japan. And they've been on Earth for...
It's got like fluffy teeth. Or is that just lots of really, really sharp teeth? Oh, what's worse? A shark with big teeth? Or a shark with lots of little tiny little razors?
Over 80 million years. It's also said that woolly mammoths are extinct. But in 2012, a video from Siberia appears to show a woolly mammoth crossing a river. Some said that it could be an elephant, but there are no elephants in Siberia.
I gotta Google this.
Wait, so what I thought they were trying to like bring the woolly mammoths back by like taking their DNA and putting it into a regular elephant, and then a woolly mammoth is born or something. Well, I swear, I had a video on this. They were trying to bring back the woolly. Maybe that's what they're doing in Serbia, and that's what. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure it out. 100% what the first guy said. Hey, the resets just keep happening. All the tech has been introduced before, but because we keep resetting, we just keep getting the same old tech reintroduced to us as new tech. There were plenty of cars before the cars we have today, and then the reset happened. Yeah, good thing we're goons and we just keep quantum jumping everywhere, so hey, goon timeline pretty good.
Did the Russians try to capture a bunch of underwater aliens they found in a lake? Well, the story was found in their own secret files. Watch this and decide for yourself, Poochkies.
Siberia, 1982. With a depth of 1,642 meters, Lake Baikal is the deepest freshwater lake in the world. 7 Russian divers are at a depth of 50 meters, when suddenly the frogmen realize they are being watched.
These strange humanoid figures were much bigger than human beings and appeared to be wearing helmets of some sort. What on earth are we to make of an encounter like this? It's one thing to talk about USOs, but quite another to talk about humanoid entities deep in the lake.
These were large beings, human shaped but like 9 feet tall, wearing what seemed like very tight-fitting silvery suits. Not your normal scuba gear, basically. Swimming in the water, what they've come to call the swimmers.
The Russian divers then make a fateful decision. They try to capture one.
The divers attempted to capture one of these creatures, but at this point, so the documents say, the entities reacted.
A powerful, unknown force suddenly propels the entire group of divers up from the deep water to the surface.
They did a rapid rise to the surface of the water. Well, when you do that too fast, you suffer from decompression and you get the bends, and it's deadly. There were 7 of these divers, and 3 of them died. And 4 were very severely injured as a result of this.
Why did these creatures react the way that they did? I have to think that when we began to act aggressively, when the divers wanted to capture one of these creatures and throw a net over it, that perhaps they were reacting in a defensive way when they expelled the divers to the surface.
Those damn Russians tried to capture a bunch of underwater aliens with a net. No wonder why Russia's never won the Super Bowl. Shabadoo, Bushkis! Shabadoo!
Wait, Russia's not allowed to compete in the Super Bowl at that. Well, the aliens in the water be scary. Don't mess with the aliens in the water. Hey, we know they exist. Let's not try to capture one, because look what happened. Yeah, you don't want that. But then again, that goon expedition, how else are we gonna know? We're gonna need to get that submarine and go investigate all the... Sorry. Don't want to unlab myself from Ben's, though, because they got that crazy tech that can just, like, make you go right up to the top of the water. That sounds crazy. No way. Our tech is not even... What if our tech is superior to the aliens in the water? Then what happens? And we're like, we thought they were better the entire time, but all they got is underwater air, and we got the real weapons of mass... Sorry.
In Lake Superior, they're scanning part of the lake, and they literally found these giant monolith stones, very similar to Stonehenge, in Lake Superior.
Oh, no way.
With ancient carvings on them. That's crazy. Yeah, the Great Lakes filled up because of the last ice age. The glaciers that melted made those lakes.
Wow. It's crazy you bring up Lake Superior, because that's where Old Whitey is. Lake Superior is freezing, but for some reason people still dive up there. And so there's a ship that sunk. There's an old man who was wearing a cork vest. He's stuck in the hull, and it's a diver's rite of passage to approach Old Whitey and you shake his hand.
Ew. That is so barbarian.
It's like One-Eyed Willie from the Goonies.
Yeah.
Is he a skeleton?
But his beard remains.
Old Whitey wanted to be buried, you see.
Leave me with the ship.
Take my hand. I'm Old Whitey.
It looks like he's stuck behind something else, so you have to like reach in.
It gives me the chills, like seriously gives me.
Imagine just squeezes your hand back.
We should do a good podcast on the mysteries of the Great Lakes.
I know zip about the Great Lakes.
Yeah, they're great.
I know nothing about the Great Lakes, but this sounds crazy. Do they also have a Loch Ness Sea monster similar to like Lake Champion? Champlain? Regardless. Yeah, I look forward if you guys do tell us more about the Great Lakes. But 100% One-Eyed Willie, he had all the gold, and that was the reason the Goonies were saved at the end, because they got the bag of jewels. Oh boy. But please don't do this. I feel like the divers are, disturbing a grave type thing, even though it's underwater. Don't shake the hand. It just feels improper, bro. What if that is the way that you get cursed or something? Because never mind.
People are freaking out now. They actually know what this is. Derealization, when life literally feels like this. If you've had it before, you'll know exactly what I mean. Where it feels like you're living in a bubble, no one around you is real, or everything around you is blurred, and it literally feels like you're in a video game and you're not actually alive. It is the worst and most crazy feeling, but what actually is it? Many people have had this feeling for years and not known it was derealization or what was causing it. And many people have lived with it for years not knowing how to actually get rid of it. So it can come from stress, anxiety, trauma, many other things. And the simplest way of explaining it is our fight or flight response, where our ancestors would have to choose between fighting a big animal or running away from it. What our mind does is take you out of the situation and say, whoa, it's too stressful here, let's not worry about anything and just sit here. So it almost gives you this out-of-body experience that doesn't feel real and distorts everything around you, and it's doing this to take your mind off things so that you could, back in the day, die in peace or whatever. Although it's horrible, it's not harmful now, and I've had this so many times, but how do you get rid of it? I know it's easier said than done, but you literally just have to relax. The more you sit there and think about it and trying to get it to go away, it is not going to go away. But the more you relax into it and just acknowledge it, say, okay, it's going to go soon, it will go, trust me.
Yeah, I will tell you, like button help real good with getting that relaxation state. Oh boy. Any of you guys feeling like this? Hey, start relaxing. You stop it. Oh, Teddy, I don't do the like button anymore. You don't need the like button to relax. There's other ways to relax. You stop it.
Y'all, a Delta flight just flipped upside down at Toronto Pearson Airport. A Delta airline flight from Minneapolis to Toronto has experienced a crash landing, y'all. So they said upon landing on a snowy runway, the plane flipped upside down. So emergency crews responded to the crash, and they said when they got there, they counted all the people that were on the plane, and all of them are accounted for. But 8 were taken to the hospital for injuries. I'm not gonna lie, if I'm a flight attendant at this point, I'm quitting my job. Here, you can have it back. Y'all, take a look at this video. It reminds me of that movie with Denzel Washington when the plane was upside down. Imagine y'all looking out the window thinking you about to land, and next thing you know, you flip upside down and crash landed. Like, look at that shit, y'all. They say it's because the runway was snowy. But y'all, I don't know, bruh. I'm just not understanding how it flips like that. So what do y'all think it was? A bad era, the pilot, or bad weather? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. They lucky to be alive. Drop y'all thoughts down below. And don't forget to share this, like this video, and follow.
Man, I've seen that this has occurred yesterday at the time of recording. I'm sure by the time you guys see this, it'll be like a week or so. Interesting. There's been like multiple videos that have came out that show the plane flipping over. It does appear like it's a weather situation, but it also feels weird that the plane landed as hard as it did, and that's what caused a 40-mile-per-hour gust caused it to flip over. I'm like, yo, these things are supposed to withstand like tornadoes, I thought, but I guess not. 40 miles per hour is enough to flip your plane. Hey, you gonna keep flying? You stop it. Stay home, stay safe. Want to be in that bubble.
For some reason, I keep thinking about Atlantis. Don't watch this video if you're not open-minded. A lot of people are saying we are in Atlantis, and this is the old world.
The civilization of Atlantis existed for thousands of years, and it was the entire world. It was not just an island out there.
Which makes sense because there are pyramids that are all over the world that align with the same star system. Giza, Mexico, China. I'm a strong believer that there are portals around this planet, and they knew how to use them to build these pyramids. That's why so many around the world. I'm pretty sure y'all saw this video.
Let nobody go through it. Did you know that you could walk through the Grand Canyon, and if you keep walking through the Grand Canyon, your ass gonna end up in Africa, nigga?
There are Egyptian relics, hieroglyphics, artifacts, mummies in America because they were here. You ever wonder why it was so important for them to suppress this information for a century? Pyramids in Antarctica, Illinois. There are places in America that is restricted. The Hoover Dam. And we know the Grand Canyon and plenty of more spaces. The largest pyramid to ever be built is in America. The Atlanteans understood the energy of this planet and they knew how to manipulate it. Notice that there are weird levels of energy, like the Bermuda Triangle that makes things disappear. I told you they restrict off these high-level energetic places. I find it funny that one of the Egyptian gods has the head of an animal that's native to America. The Ibis. Rashad Jamal also goes to say that the 33rd parallel was the capital of Atlantis, which is in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's called Atlanta. And it's on the 33rd parallel, which is one of the most powerful veins on the planet because this was the capital of our realm, Atlantis. Our capital stretched, nigga. It was all of Georgia, all of Florida.
Can't stretch this enough, do your own research. I feel, though, that America is the old world. Now watch this. It is said that Atlantis went down in a flood. In America, it shows water erosion in the Grand Canyon.
We're underneath the water. That means that this place was underneath water. The Great Flood. The rocks are red. When the water oxygenates the sediments, they turn red.
Now I need you to watch this.
Whenever Atlantis went down, a lot of them, some of them went to Egypt, and were survivors, and some of them went to Egypt.
I'm sorry, I just need to hear it one more time.
Some of them went to Egypt, and were survivors, and to other places.
Y'all do what y'all want. I'm just connecting my thoughts. Notice how she says they went to Egypt and they had powers to build such monuments.
Stone. This is where the pyramids and everything were developed later were by the survivors of Atlantis who still carried the knowledge of how this was done.
Put two and two together yourself and y'all have a good day. Just so you know, these blinds been closed. Stay dangerous, y'all. Now that you over here on YouTube, I find it very funny that there are people that are claiming they're the descendants of ancient Egyptians.
This is what the ancient Egyptians would actually look like. Dark-skinned, olive-toned, like myself.
So hey, if the Atlanteans were the descendants of the pyramid builders, y'all stay dangerous.
All right, first and foremost, real Kaya, that Dolores person that you're Dolores person that you're basing some of this information on has been found to be a paid actor, to be honest, and just paid shell. So be very careful with what you take from her and her content. But I'm not going to disavow your theory here or what you're insinuating. It could be. Hey, nobody knows. When it comes to me, I personally go, hey, the Atlantis of that time could 100% been passed down to Egypt, and then Egypt started being the new empire that, you know, now some people say is now America is the old Egypt or something. So it's like, hey, Egypt just moved. And that's why there's so many references of Egyptian architecture across the world, because it wasn't just in Egypt, it was across the world. Similar to what Dolores was saying there about Atlantis, but I don't take anything she says. I'm like 30-70 on her, so I don't believe in Dolores anymore. All right, Real Kaya, good info. Let me know how you do with this, but hey, just be open-minded. You never know. We need to get that time machine. That's the only way. And it's not just the Grand Canyon that's been underwater. Even the Sphinx, even the pyramids have been underwater. They say there's all kinds of water erosion that they see. Oh boy, imagine you just go through the Grand Canyon and you get to one of those doors that's not really a door, but it just appears to be an imprint of a door. Then somehow you figure out that the right cymatics and sound energy open the door up, and then boom, you're in Africa. Oh man, that'd be wild. Because in Egypt, they also got doors that are just in the walls and don't really open, and they're just like divots of doors. So you just got to figure out how to open them, just like how we got to turn on all... Sorry, I'm spiraling.
If you really think about it, we're all in a cult.
Anyone else thought about the idea that we were all groomed from a very young age to be members of a cult?
I know this sounds crazy, but just hear him out.
By cult, I mean the idea of trading 40 to 50 years of your life for maybe 10 or 15 years of freedom once you're too old to actually enjoy it.
40 to 50 prime years of your life to go make somebody else's dream come true.
10 or 15 years of freedom once you're too old to actually enjoy it. And if you question this cult, if you question this traditional model that we were all tricked into believing was the only way to do things, you're considered crazy, or you're considered someone that doesn't really want to work.
Someone's always going to want to box you in and label you.
Or someone that's lazy. And in reality, you're just trying to think critically and ask yourself, is this really the best way to do things? Is it really The best way to do things is to spend 8 to 10 waking hours a day away from the people you love most, 5 days a week. In return, you get 2 days. You get 2 days. And on those 2 days, you got to do all the things that you couldn't do during the previous 5 days because, again, you were busy working. Like, how is everyone okay with this trade-off? You trade 5 days for 2. You trade 40 to 50 years for 10 to 15, if you're talking about the average life expectancy in the United States. How's that a fair trade?
It's not a fair trade, but it was designed like this on purpose.
And despite this, everyone goes along with it. Everyone signs up for that college tuition. Everyone signs up for them student loans. Why? I don't know. They probably don't even.
We've all been scammed.
It's the only way to do things. It's not the only way to do things. It's
Let
just
me know what you think. Stay weird, y'all.
It's just the way to do things when you fall in line and don't question them.
I mean, I'm cool with questioning the norm and being open and all this, but sometimes you got to work with the systems in order to break away from the systems as well. So, oh boy, I want to say take this with a grain of salt because, hey, it's not a CULT. You are a free thinker. You do whatever the heck you want. If you don't want to participate, you don't need to participate. Yeah, they may come after you, but it's your own free will that decide to do that. Oh boy, oh boy. In the Goonland, it's not a CULT. We have a board of goons that just constantly changes, so that way no single person ever becomes a leader of sorts. No leaders. There's no leaders.
I've never seen anything like this, guys. Look at this. How big that storm is, how big that one is, the big one coming from and that's the big one people are talking about, California. Then you look out here to the East Coast, and then this. How are there giant storms across the entire planet? And that's for February 14th. Let's look a little bit more in the future. And we talked about this before, February 16th. Look at the size of this, guys. Stretching from the East Coast to Europe. Just thought I'd give you guys another heads up. February 18th, look at the size of this storm, guys. Touching coast to coast, across continents. February 20th. And possibly the worst day of them all, February 21st. Look at the size of this, guys. Coming for Europe, United Kingdom, and Ireland. So, prediction, February is going to be very messy in terms of weather, guys. Just a heads up. But really, guys, legitimately, I've never seen anything like this. Boom, 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 boom. 5 monster storms. What do you guys think? Is this normal? Or is something else going on here?
All right, I only have one more storm to get through, I guess, the 21st. But by the time you guys see this, we probably already gone through all the storms because Goon Timeline, Best Timeline, we already made it. Hey, the wind doesn't affect us. We already made it. Yeah, to me, I go normal. It's just wind. You know, there's windstorms all the time. Maybe that one of these windstorms is the one that caused the plane to, oh my God, maybe they're using the wind as the scapegoat on the plane because the plane was actually taken over by the AI. And now it's, sorry, I'm trying to correlate many things. This is what happens when you start spiraling. We're going to keep it going.
Did you hear about that volcano that's happening in Italy right now?
No.
Have you heard of Cape Freghe?
All the time.
It's sitting over this giant basin of magma. Supposedly the second most powerful supervolcano on Earth. This past week, there have been 2 major earthquakes from that mountain.
That's bad news.
So, like, if this thing goes off, we're talking like half of Italy. Mount Vesuvius, which is also in Italy, they speculate that the magma, it's like connected. If Campe Flegre went off, Mount Vesuvius would go off at the same time too. They said it would be so intense and catastrophic that it would send the entire Earth into a prolonged 2 to 3 year winter.
Fart.
Like, National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology confirmed that the eruption is a present and near scenario.
Dude,
they said the global temperature would drop 2 degrees Celsius.
What if Mother Nature is curing herself?
You ever thought about humans are the virus?
If aliens wiped out, I'm gonna be so miffed that we've never been.
Or you'd be upset that a lot of Italian people died.
That too, obviously. Obviously.
It's just...
Nah, Goon Timeline, Best Timeline, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. You stop it. You know how many volcanoes are supposed to explode in my lifetime that still haven't? Or there've been a little rumbles here and there, but still, we're pretty good. We're gonna be fine.
If you stare at your face in the mirror, it's a new challenge that kids are doing these days.
Whatever you do not do this. Ever. This trend's been going around for a long time, but for some reason has resurfaced and people are trying it all across Earth. Essentially what people are doing is staring at themselves in the mirror, which, yeah, doesn't sound weird at all, but it will in a minute. You may have heard things in the past about people who have stared in the mirror at themselves for too long and start seeing their face distort, or other faces, or just very strange things. Now this is actually 100% true. I'm going to explain it right now. But first of all, take a look at this video right here. Now, when you look at the green dot in the middle, after a while you'll notice the yellow dots will be moving around or even fading. Now, this is called the Troxler effect, which is exactly what's happening to people when they stare in the mirror. Your mind basically playing tricks on you and creating things is what happens when you stare at yourself for too long. Many people have said when they've stared at the mirror for around 15 minutes, they've seen their own face smiling back at them or turning into someone who is not there. And yeah, this is 100% true. It does happen, and this is exactly why. The Troxler effect is crazy, but pretty damn scary.
Oh, wow. I actually didn't see any of the yellow balls move or fade away like he was insinuating. But at the same time, I've stared at myself in the mirror, but not for like 5 hours, but for like, I would say 20, 25 minutes. And I've never had any face distortion. So is my mind just too smart and it's not distorting my face? Something wrong with me? Yeah, I need to see what the distorted face Teddy looks like. Oh boy. My mind's just like, hey, this is the same Teddy all the time. Even you stare at yourself in the mirror Teddy also the same. He's not going to change. Unless you're on the substances, then everything... Sorry, we're gonna do 2 more.
When they dig up Peter's body, this is weird as hell. They crack it open. Literally, they noticed that his fingernails got longer. His beard was growing. They opened his mouth, and they seen that there was fresh blood in his mouth.
Whoa.
So this village was actually going through some Nosferatu stuff. Bro.
Really?
Yes. So this was in 1725 in Serbia. There was this peasant. His name was Peter. He ended up dying that year. So he ended up being buried in a churchyard. Literally, I think 9 days after this guy, Peter, was buried, 9 people ended up getting really sick and they ended up passing away. All 9 of these people said pretty much the same thing right before they died. They all said that this guy, Peter, they remember seeing him crawl into their room and drink their blood and their strength.
And all these people said it was Peter.
Yes, and they all said it was this peasant boy named Peter.
What the hell?
Who would creep into their room at night and do this. And
yeah.
They all had the same story. The whole village, I'm not even making this up, they all go to the churchyard. When they dig up Peter's body, this is weird as hell. They crack it open. Literally, they noticed that his fingernails got longer. His beard was growing. They opened his mouth and they seen that there was fresh blood in his mouth.
Whoa.
So they sharpened a stake and they stabbed her through the heart. Literally, they said when they stabbed him, the dude started coughing up blood and blood started coming out of his nose.
Really?
Yes.
Bro, he's damn near like vampire.
Man, 100%. Serbia is really weird. They also got woolly mammoths there. They said, oh wow. So now gotta worry about these vampire guys that even though we bury them, we gotta make sure we get the wooden stake through them. Oh boy, how many vampires are still roaming around in modern day times? I have so many questions. We're gonna do 1 more.
Scary Ways the World Almost Ended, Part 5. Solar Storm 2012. 2012 was a year everyone thought would be the last year, but 2012 came and went and the world didn't end. Crisis averted, but only barely. On July 23rd, 2012, a coronal mass ejection erupted from the surface of the sun and careened towards Earth. The CME's trajectory took it directly through the path of the Earth's orbit, missing it by a mere 9 days. Had the solar storm struck the Earth, every electronic device on the planet would have been fried. Estimates of the possible damage from the 2012 solar storm would have been more than $1 trillion, and experts posit that had this storm struck on Earth, civilization would have come to a grinding halt and society would have been reduced to what was prior to the technological revolution. Follow part 6.
Man, that was in 2012. Is there going to be another solar storm that comes later on that we need to also, get our things? Is that why we have the Space Force? Are they just protecting us from the solar storms? I just want to figure it out. What, we're just going to blindly just let the solar storm happen and then all the technology gets wiped out and then we get a great reset and then that's going to be the... Oh my God. Hey, you made it to the end. How'd you do? Yeah, I'm now stuck in this cycle of what's gonna be the apocalyptic event that just finally ends? Oh man, breathe, Teddy, breathe. I'm breathing. I'm just worried, alright? Now they tell me about the super volcano, now I gotta worry about the solar storms. No, wait a second, good timeline, best timeline, everything's gonna be fine. Hey, there should be videos on the screen right now. Click on either one of them to continue the Goon Fix. The one in the middle, you can subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Acha, 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 acha. Triple G's. Wake up, wake up.